You guys, Sean Klinger with Vado Max. I'm here with John Anderson at Dubya USA. We're going to talk about wheels today. So it's kind of everything you want to know about motocross, supercross wheels. Some people, overlook it as a performance part of your motorcycle, but there's a lot that goes into it. And professionals do a lot of testing, so we're going to go through all the different parts of the wheel and how it can make a big difference. So first off, bikes come with wheels. So why get an aftermarket wheel? I mean, overall, what is the goal with replacing the wheels?
Well, typically a stock wheel is a cast wheel, and why would they upgrade to something else? Because you're going to go from a cast hub to a billet hub, so it's going to be stronger.
Okay.
Outside of that, obviously rims. Most bikes come with DID or Excel. However, with that being said, the rims that come on a bike stock, not exactly say as high a quality as say an aftermarket from the same company, albeit Excel or DID. They're mass produced, they're made say basically for production. Yeah.
So specifically, let's start at the middle, and you're going to talk about the hubs. What comes on a stock bike is cast, and what is kind of the pros and cons of those hubs? Are they heavier?
Well, actually, no. Like the stock hubs, for the most part, give an example of like a Honda.
Okay.
A cast hub is actually pretty light, but you have to keep in mind too, they're building the bikes to be as light as possible.
Okay.
And you can look at the motorcycle, look at a Honda as an example, look at the hub, and look at it from the overall, the center to the ends. It's pretty thin. The stock hubs are actually pretty light, but they're not always the strongest. Yeah.
So options moving away from stock, then you have billet, there's carbon.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the difference between billet hub and maybe a carbon hub.
Sure. Well, a billet hub, example like a Talon hub, made out of a 6000 series alloy, a little bit beefier, a little bit heavier, like a Pro Series Talon. 3 bearings in the rear, 2 on the drive side, 1 on the disc side. There's the ultralight, there's also an Evo, but to the extreme, a carbon. You have 2 pieces of billet aluminum. The carbon Talon hub is not a sticker, it's actually a carbon tube, and it's basically pressed and bonded. And there's also a locking device in there to prevent it from spinning. So it truly is a carbon center. The purpose of that, clearly, is to reduce weight. And it looks cool.
So when you're looking at like the full billet hub Talon, let's say that brand, and then the carbon, is there any difference in flex? Is there any difference in strength or durability, or is it just weight?
Well, in the case of say a carbon, and we'll probably go into this a little bit later, but a carbon uses a 2-cross lacing pattern. The Pro Billet from Talon is a 3-cross.
Okay.
Longer spoke. The 2-cross, why do we do that with that hub? Again, to make the lightest wheel possible.
Like durability and longevity wise, with a billet hub, is there anything, if you own one, are you looking for signs of wear? Like what is the kind of season that, like multiple seasons you can have that hub, or years?
So it really comes down to the user. You could look, rims are gonna wear, they're gonna bend.
Right.
Take a big enough hit, your brake explodes. It happens. But on a hub, as long as you just maintain it, again with proper bearings, you can typically get hubs to last quite some time. Yeah.
So then looking at like professional teams going from supercross to motocross, do you find any of the teams switching up different hubs for different applications, or they like what they like, they stick with what they're used to?
Yeah, 100% on that. I mean, once a team, at least teams that we work with, and we're very fortunate to work with some of the very best here in the United States, they don't change the hub. The hub that they run in Supercross, the same, spoke the same, even the rims the same.
So moving into spokes, obviously you touched on a little bit of the patterns and we'll get into that, but as far as like gauges, because I've overheard team mechanics talking about testing different gauges and testing different thicknesses of spokes for flex characteristics and things like that.
Yeah.
So what's the standard front and rear spoke gauge?
So typically on a stock spoke, okay, they're what they call a butted spoke, double butted, right? So the outer parts are thicker, but the center is thinner. Why do they do that? Again, it's a weight savings thing. Now there are some riders, and I would say probably 95% of the riders, if they rode both wheels, from a novice all the way up to a local expert, couldn't tell the difference. Some riders are very, very sharp when it comes to that, and they can tell. What do they tell the difference in between those spokes? We have seen in testing with riders, they feel like, say, a straight gauge versus a butted spoke, it has like better absorption, a more of a plush feel. And it's usually something they can tell coming into a corner and exiting a corner.
So let's talk a little bit more about when you say 2-cross, 3-cross, maybe not everyone understands what those things mean.
Sure. So like a Talon Pro billet is an example. It's built in a 3-cross pattern. So when the spoke comes through the hub and then it overlays the other spokes, right? It crosses over 3 times. Okay. A 2-cross crosses over twice.
So moving into rims, obviously they're all, every rim that you get is aluminum.
Right.
And so the differences between the rims is what exactly?
Sure, well, so what we carry here at W is we carry both the Excel and the DID. They're both made out of a 7000 series alloy. They have their own proprietary blend, if you will, of 7000 series alloys. The only one that's different as far as the shape goes is the Excel makes their A60. It's kind of in a U shape. The theory behind that is it's stronger, it's stiffer. Maybe people have noticed this when you go to the track, if it's muddy in the morning, it's mud that builds up on the rim. The design, the shape of the Excel, it's kind of designed to prevent that so the wheel doesn't set in that pocket. But again, the A60, it is the stiffest rim on the market.
Last few things I want to touch on, talking about wheel bearings.
Yeah.
So there's different options out there. Like what are the top of the top guys running as far as wheel bearings?
Well, so typically some of the higher profile teams, and people hear about this ceramic bearings.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
I heard it.
And is it out there? Sure. Pros and cons. It definitely speeds, spins freer. They're typically a lightweight bearing. The cost to do ceramic are very expensive, and there are teams that do run those. Do we have teams that have done it? Sure. They want to put ceramic bearings in it, by all means. That's an expense that they take on. Again, that all goes to the motorcycle and trying to keep the wheel as spin as free as possible, lightweight. Those are the extremes that some of these higher profile and funded teams are willing to do.
Great. So we covered all the bases of wheel building. If you have any more questions, you can leave comments down below. If you're on our YouTube site, check out Blingy for more content, and thanks for watching.